All right, guys, I'm sorry this is take two, but we had some video problems there. We're going to start here with our yellow for our sunflowers. Everybody should be getting this through email now. So we're going to start with the yellow and a tiny bit of brown, okay? And we're going to start in here and push up. So it doesn't matter if you go over that circle. Start in your center and push up like that. See that? See how I'm going the whole way around and I'm pushing up. And I want it to feather up this way. See how it's feathering up? So you start from your center and you feather it up. I'm going to do that on this one that's on the side. See, it's like kind of underneath and tucked in. Push it up that way. And then I'm going to do each of my centers for my daisies. Okay, now I'm going to use my regular yellow and I'm going to start up here and push down in. Now I'm starting with my yellow because of the pigment. If you were to do the other color in the background, you wouldn't get the vibrancy that you'll get if you just start fresh white. So start up here and push down in. going to start over here now with my yellow, and I'm going to start at the top of my daisies and push down in. Okay, now I'm going to take my white and I'm going to try and mix it in towards the center up into my top. Center up into my top. Same with up here. See how I'm going from my top down? See how much it helps the flower stand out a little bit more? And you don't have to bring it the whole way down. Okay, now we're going to start in the center and fill this in brown. Here, and this one, and here, and this one. And then I'm going to do like little equal signs the whole way around, because when you look at a sunflower, it has those little tiny petals that come and go. And they've folded in. They're really tight looking. They're really, and they spray out the whole way around. So it almost looks like little sun rays the whole way around. So I'm going to define each of the petals now and go a little bit further on some of the petals that are up further with the brown. See how I'm real lightly touching that. So you want to use a real small brush, maybe even like an angle brush, and go around like that. Okay, now I'm going to touch the very bottom of my daisy in the brown, because they're never just pure yellow. They always look like they're a little brown on the edges. All right, now the center of my sunflower, I'm going to dabble some of the black on. And then I'm not going to go clean to the edge, but I'm going to come around the inside where we just made those. So you're going to stay on the inside of like those little tiny equal signs we had made and make little tiny dots, but you want to let the brown, it's like a circle almost, like a Cheerio in between there. Because we're going to create a look that makes it look like it's raised in there. If you've looked at the center of a sunflower, you can usually feel it with your finger. Then I'm going to speck it with a little bit of green, and where that brown is, just a few little green pieces, little green specks. And then a little bit of yellow. Okay, now you're going to get into your white, so get a clean brush or clean that brush really well. And I want you to take your white, and it's actually going to go over top of all of it, so I just move kind of quickly around it. What's pre-drawn here for your daisies? There's a daisy here. And there's a daisy up here. Now the other little daisies we'll be able to catch and put them in after all of our other stuff. But you're going to get into some more white now, and I just want you to highlight the very tip of this on a few. See how it defines it? Very lightly though. The lighter you go, the better luck you'll have. All this white does is just make it stand out a little bit. All right, we're going to start with our green, and you'll see like I have these sorts of lines made. Well, that's where we're going to be with our green that's going to spray out. So first I want you to trace around what you have here for your sunflowers. So trace around that, maybe with a nice small angle brush would probably be your best bet. And then I'm going to wipe what's on my brush because it gathers up there towards the center of these bristles, and I want to get that wiped off. So it's actually just going to kind of spray it out, and we'll use that to blend it out earlier because it's not like it just stops in a big bush. It kind of, we spray it out so it looks soft. So I'm going to keep working around these petals. And still I'm going around every petal. Just lightly touch it where you're going to go in there in between. And you don't need to do very many of them, just a few, just so people get the idea. And then it falls down over the basket or the crock. It's like in an old crock. I'm going to turn this so you can see it a little better. I'm still working up around each little petal of my daisies. It might help you to move your canvas around different ways because sometimes you just get used to a certain angle in painting and it works the best for you. So I'm going to turn it upside down now. It just works easier this way for me because you guys can see what I'm doing a little better. So I think you'll find once you start moving your canvas around upside down, you'll get a better angle and get a nice painting done. So this is about what we have for our green, okay? I'm going to dip in my water and I'm going to go around this edge and kind of fade it out. Okay, just kind of fade that out because we're going to be mixing like a khaki yellowish color in with this when we do our background. All right, I'm going to get a few little streaks in, real light, guys. And honestly, instead of using like a round brush with a point, I've always thought that an angle brush had more control for getting in there in those little cracks and in the fine lines, and then just pull it out. And the lighter you touch it, the nicer the line you'll have. Throw a little bit of green behind this sunflower right here, this one. And you don't want to do every petal because it won't look right. All right. So let's turn this right back around. And I'm going to use the same angle brush. And I'm going to paint my crock. All of it's going to be the tan first. And I do have the green on my brush still, but that's okay. We're going to be working different colors, and see how I'm just kind of fading it in with my green that came down. You want to fade that in or blend it. All right, just the tiniest bit of brown and the tiniest bit of cream. And we're going to put it over here underneath where our flowers were falling down, cascading over our crock. And then we're going to grab the cream, more of it. See how I'm going to let that there? And then I'm going to pull down from that. And just the cream. I did not rinse my brush. So I'm going to decide that my light is coming from my upper right. And I'm just going to pull my cream in from here on this side. And I'm going to get darker over here on my left. And I'm going to pull it this way. So I'm going to work that color in. And then I'm going to create my shadow, which is going to come there. Just kind of let that there for now. Maybe put a little bit of cream over it for right now. On your edge. Because we want that shadow to fade out so it doesn't look fake. And then I'm just going to blotch off what I have left down in here on my right or on my left. So if we blotch this out, it's going to look like dappling shadows. You know how the leaves and the lights shine through when we put our other colors in. Let's see that a little better. There you go. Not really anything should be over here. We want it to look like these are the leaves and there's going to be light shining through it down in here. So I'm going to take white where there is white and just kind of blotch it in through there. That's where our light's going to come through at. All right, now I have these blue flowers that look like they're cascading down. They almost look like they're lilacs. If you guys did a lilac one with me, I kind of had them spread through there. And the reason I had them blue is because blue is the complementary of yellow. So I'm going to start with the direct blue, and I'm going to use a brighter blue. It's like an aqua almost. And I'm going to start right up close here and just dabble it. And as it comes down, it's going to get smaller. The dabbles are going to be smaller and smaller. I'm going to put one there. You're going to, when you're putting these in, you want to think of your picture, because your sunflowers might be a little bigger, or they might appear bigger for some reason just because you made your petals larger. So you want to think about how would you be weighing out your own floral arrangement if you had them in there in the vase. Think of how you would arrange them also. It doesn't have to be exactly like mine. So I'm going to put one in here. And I don't want to lose all my green in there. So I'm going to come down, and remember I said they get smaller when they come down through there. And then I'm going to come up. It looks like I think I need something right up in here at the top coming in right here. So I'm going to put a few coming out right there.
Hey, Mom.
Sweetheart, I'm recording, remember? I'll be done in a few minutes, or about a half hour. Sam's downstairs, honey.
I thought it was working.
Well, I'm just making a whole new recording.
You can cut my voice out. You can.
All right, well, you're going to help me with this, please. All right, so make sure you're weighed out, even if you have to take a ruler and measure out where your furthest flower is here, or you could do it with your brush. You want to be here, I'm right here. So I need to actually be out a little further over here. And I think I'm going to make a few spruce up in through here, peeking up through, saying hello. So now we're going to start to make the blue a little bit lighter. So we're going to go with a medium, something like this right here. Make it a little bit lighter. And since our light is coming from the upper right, probably about 2 o'clock, I don't want you to fill it in entirely, but I want you to grab a little bit of that light and come down through here and make it a little bit lighter. You're not going to see a big difference yet, but as we stack it as we go, you're going to see it. And of course, there's not going to be as much over here because this guy's like on the left and just not in the light. And scatter a little bit back and over this way. So I'm trying to balance out what I have here for flowers. So I'm going to make that blue even a little bit lighter now, right here. And I'm going to tap along even less, and they should be a little bit smaller over what we've just done. And now I'm going to grab just a tiny bit of white, and I'm going to just highlight very little over the areas that we've just done. Okay, so you're still in the white, but we need to shadow this down in here a little bit more on this crock. So I'm going to go down in here on this side just to give it a 3D depth. And I'm going to fade that in. Think of like doing your eyeshadow, how you just fade it or blush it out. Just you want to blend, blend, blend. So if you have to get in the water, it's okay to blend that out a little more, because the water will make it it'll make it flow much easier with it being acrylic. I'm just making a whole bunch of little dots, real tiny. through here. And then I'm going to hit that crock with a little bit of white and blend it out, since our light's coming from our upper right hand corner, or the right. We need a little bit of white and a reflective light right in there, because light always comes off the wall and bounces off of something else. So that is called reflective light. And then I created a little tiny bit of Payne's gray, which is basically gray and black. And I'm going to come right underneath this crock so it looks like it's centered a little better. And I barely have any on my brush. And I'm going to sweep that through right here on the bottom to the left to make it look like it has a nice shadow underneath. Otherwise your crock will look like it's floating. And we don't want floating crocks. All right, ladies, I'm gonna skip up this and go into the background now with a lighter brush or a larger brush. And I'm gonna use up here, since my light's coming in from the right, we're gonna start up here in the upper right hand corner with a lighter color. So that's gonna be white up here first. You're gonna put all this white. And then you're slowly gonna fade into the khaki right here. And you should be able to blend that, or just kind of fold your brush in different directions. So as we come across over here, like towards the upper and center part of the sunflower, you're just going to be using the plain khaki up in here. Now when you get down here into this green, I just want you to kind of blotch it, but stay away from that blue. And it's going to come down in all different levels into the green, but I want you to be really careful with that and not go the whole way down into it. So all of this, because I'm moving pretty quick, is still a little bit wet. And I'm going to add a little touch of yellow through it. Down in here is just the beige too. I'm not into the yellow yet, so just bear with me here. But I'm going to get there soon. I'm going to grab some white over in this side.